10. Star versus the Forces of Evil, fan theories that could change everything. Star vs. the Forces of Evil is one of the most epic cartoons ever, and some of the fan theories out there about this show will blow your mind. Check out these 10 fan theories that could change everything. Watch until the very end to find out when and if Star will return to Muni. Disney XD's hit series Star vs. the Forces of Evil is one amazing show. It follows Star Butterfly, a princess who is a foreign exchange student. And we really mean foreign. She's from a whole other dimension where monsters and demons are real. Star is a bit reckless, so her parents send her to Earth to learn how to be a good princess. She lives with the Diaz family and becomes BFFs with Marco Diaz. These two do everything together. They go to high school and deal with normal teen stuff, but they also fight monsters from other dimensions. Things get complicated as the series goes on. Star learns that one of her ancestors, Eclipse, is still alive. She fights monsters who turn out to be related to her, and she reconnects with her ex-boyfriend, Tom, who is a demon. Plus, she and Marco totally have feelings for each other. The show's creator announced that the current season is the last season. That has left a lot of fans wondering how all these loose ends will get tied up. And we definitely have some ideas. Hold on to your tiaras. These fan theories will rock your world. Marco isn't human. Marco Diaz is a pretty amazing character. He's clever and a great friend. And he's turned out to be really great at fighting monsters. But one of the most popular theories about Star vs. the Forces of Evil is that Marco isn't entirely human. And we have to admit there is some pretty great evidence for this. For one thing, he can hold and use Star's wand. He's done it before and it worked. He really shouldn't be able to do that as a human. Plus, he sometimes has crescent moons appear on his cheeks. That reminds us of the symbols that Moomins have. Some people think that Marco is part Moomin. He might be related to one of the royals, which would make him distantly related to Star. But we aren't sure Disney would dive into Game of Thrones territory since he and Star have a crush on each other. He could just be a regular common Moomin. He could also be part monster. Maybe he was born that way, or maybe being around Star's magic changed him. A lot of this theory is based around the idea that his tentacle arm actually changed him into a monster. But we know that monsters aren't all bad. That's kind of Star's whole thing, right? Marco turns evil. That leads us to our next theory, which was posted by Kanrasan. We know, Marco is too awesome to be evil, but is he really? There has been a lot of buzz around the internet about this one. There's not a lot of episodes left, but an evil Marco would be an epic twist. Do you remember how the wand looked when Marco held it? It looked scary and evil, and it had bat wings that resemble the one seen on the show's logo. Has Disney been planning a showdown between Marco and Star all along? Now, if Marco was really evil, that would be devastating. He's been such a good friend to Star, and all the Starco shippers would riot in the streets. But what if he becomes evil? We know that sort of magic exists in this world. Eclipse can be pretty manipulative, and there are a ton of other villains too. Marco is a good guy, but he's gullible. He would be easy to brainwash with magic. We just hope that if this theory is true, Star will have what it takes to turn him good again. We definitely need a happy ending from this series. Glob Gor is the main villain.
What do you want? My freedom.
They say love is blind, and that is definitely the case with Eclipse and her husband, Glob Gor, who is one terrifying creature. He is huge with red skin and extra eyes. Their love story is actually kind of sweet, though. They fell in love even though it was illegal for Moomins and monsters to mingle. They were both imprisoned in a crystal jail for a very long time. If that's not enough to turn someone into a villain, we don't know what is. And we know that Glob Gor isn't always a nice monster. He ate one of the spider bite family members after all. He also burned down their entire village. He's called the King of Monsters, so he's got motive and a history of violence. In fact, he sounds like a boss. If Glob Gor turns out to be the main villain of Season 4, it's going to be wild. Eclipse will have to choose sides, and we aren't sure she'll prioritize the safety of Muni. It's going to be up to Star to save the day again, but Glob Gor is no ordinary monster. Moomins are just humans. In the episode Meteora's Lesson, we find out a lot about the origin of the Moomins. And some people think this episode basically confirms that Moomins are just mutated humans. Here's the evidence according to Reddit user Starco420. When Glossric goes to his temple, he finds 4 Moomins with amnesia. He tells them who they are and where they came from. Glossoric's symbol connects with a realm of magic. There is a well that leads to an unknown dimension. In this theory, that dimension is Earth, and after several people get exposed to magic goo and go missing, they board it up. Star's special alien traits aren't because she's Moomin, because the commoners don't have those strange traits. Instead, the butterfly family is exposed to radioactive magic. The wand was confirmed to be radioactive. It also makes sending Star to Earth seem way less random. There would be common ancestors there, and Glossoric would know all about it because of the portal. If they were trying to teach her how to control magic, it would make sense to send her to the place that doesn't have a lot of it, right? Star ends up with Tom. The fans of Star versus the Forces of Evil are pretty divided when it comes to ships. There are some serious Starko shippers, but there are also those who think she should end up with Tom. After the episode Curse of the Blood Moon, it seemed like Star and Marco's feelings for each other disappeared. Tom really cares for Star, so it wouldn't be a bad match, but this Reddit user thinks Star might marry Tom out of duty. Fickrite thinks that Star will have to choose. And if she decides to commit to a political marriage, she'll choose Tom. Royals often have to marry for political reasons. Tom is half monster, and Star really believes in monster equality. Marrying Tom would definitely make it clear that monster discrimination should end. Plus, Tom is a prince, and royals typically have to marry other royals. Love him or hate him, but he's probably the best choice Star has if she plans on making a political move. And it would definitely make a lot of fans happy. Star ends up with Marco.
I can't believe you're here. I was thinking we'd maybe never see each other.
Marco and Star are the best of friends. They have been through a lot together. They finally admitted their feelings in season 4, and fans rejoiced. We thought we finally had our Starco confirmation, but the show's creators never make things easy. Tom becomes convinced that their feelings are only because of the Curse of the Blood Moon. He encourages them to break the curse using the severance stone. This requires them to give up the memory of when they first felt feelings for each other. Star and Marco are hesitant because, well, that's a pretty big thing to give up. But just in case it is a curse, they go through with it, and it seems like all their feelings are gone after that. But they have been hinting at their relationship for several seasons. Star loves Marco, and Marco absolutely loves Star, so some fans are convinced that they'll find their way back to each other. Are you a Starco or a Tom Star shipper? Tell us in the comments. Eclipse uses the severance stone. This theory is amazing, and it links back to the theory about Glob Gor. Eclipse is totally determined to free her husband from the crystal. Fortunately, it seems like no magic can do it, but then we find out about the severance stone. It has an edge so sharp that it can sever anything. That means it can sever things like memories and physical objects. Eclipse no longer has the Book of Spells, and she's getting desperate. Still, she's not one to stay in the dark for too long. She's bound to find out about the Severance Stone, and Marco will probably be the one to tell her. This will be how she finally frees Glob Gor. It's perfect. We had a feeling that the stone was going to be important later on in the story. This theory is pretty convincing. We can thank Redditor Saku Otaku for coming up with this one. The only thing we don't know from this theory is what Glob Gor will do when he's freed. Do you think he'll be a villain, or does he love Eclipse enough to turn good? Meena is the main villain. You know what they say, never meet your heroes, and that was definitely true for Star. She idolized Meena Loveberry as the greatest warrior who ever lived, but Meena was not all there. She lived in a dumpster and was definitely a little deranged. She obsessed with conquering and continuously tries to take over the earth. Worst of all, she has a very anti-monster attitude. Meena has a personal vendetta against Eclipse. She resents her for taking the throne after Meena protected the castle from looters. She tries to overthrow her, but Moon refuses to help her, and she fails. Some people expected her to have a bigger role in the season 3 finale, but some fans believe that was intentional. They think that she will come back as a much bigger threat in season 4. She's predicted to take her monster hunting to the extreme. It will endanger Buffrog, and Star will have to have an epic battle with her former hero. Meena would be an amazing villain. The showdown between the two of them would be an amazing finale to the whole series. We can't wait to find out what happens. Star becomes queen again. Star was born to rule over Muni. Her parents spent her whole life preparing her to become queen. They gave her the wand and taught her how to use magic. And they even sent her to Earth so she could learn how to be a better ruler. Star was queen for a whole 4 days, but then she gave the wand to Eclipse. We were shocked. Eclipse had the right to rule a long time ago, but she had been frozen for generations. Sure, we understand why Star did it. Plus, she is only a teenager. Who wants that much responsibility at that age? But lots of fans think that she will become queen of Muni for good. Eclipse isn't really evil, but she isn't exactly good either, and she is dedicated to her husband. Once she frees him, things are going to get messy. She is probably not going to be cut out to rule Muni after that. She's manipulative, and she loves Glob Gor more than anything. If he wants to live an evil life, she'll probably choose to do the same. That's going to make Star have to save Muni again, and then she will defeat Eclipse and become the rightful queen. She'll grant equality to monsters and rule happily ever after. Star stays on Earth. Or maybe, just maybe, Star decides she is done with ruling Muni. We know that Star is planning a coronation for Eclipse. If it actually happens, Star won't need to be queen, and once she helps defeat whoever the big villains are, Muni won't really need her anymore. She will reunite with her parents and cross a portal to start a new life on Earth. This theory is really dependent on Star's relationship with Marko. They have become so close that it's hard to imagine them not being together, at least as friends. There's another theory that suggests that the Earth gets closed off. Marko and Star have to find their way back to each other through the realm of magic. No one knows exactly how it will go down, but there's lots of fans who think Star will just try to live a relatively normal life on Earth because of Marko. What do you think will happen in the final season of Star versus the Forces of Evil? Let us know in the comments. And that's it for the 10 fan theories that would change everything. Hit that subscribe button for more awesome videos like this one. Thanks for watching The Things. We'll see you soon.